Welcome to another edition of Mike Cruz Unadulterated. Our guest today, Mr. Ron Barba, actor, writer, director. Ron, thank you for being here, man.
Porn star. You forgot the last
Ron.
one.
Yee.
I'm just kidding, folks. Mike, I can't believe I'm here, man. Thanks so much for having me, buddy.
Finally, man. Finally, we made it happen. Nick fan.
Oh, come on, Knicks. I mean, come on. I mean, it's been since 1972, but
Knicks?
3 players. I went to Villanova University. 3 players, the starting players, are from Villanova.
Really?
Yes. So
fact.
let's go Knicks. Come
What
on.
football team you with?
Football, well, I mean, I always anything New York I love because I grew up in Connecticut,
Okay.
40 minutes, and from New York City, so I'm a New York Giants and New York Jets fan,
so
and
New York.
we're struggling, but everything New York I love.
Mets or Yankees?
Well, now the Mets because they got Soto. For $750 million, that's all. That's a chump change.
Fuck you, man.
But listen, I grew up in the Yankee. I went to every Yankee game. We chased Ron Guidry down the highway to the game one day. He had Ron Guidry.
Gator.
Oh my God! He had his uniform on. We're chasing him. He's in a Corvette. We're like, holy God, that's Ron freaking Guidry, legendary. 49. He was so good. The lefty man, Louisiana Lightning.
He was for an all, man.
But now we want the Mets too. I mean, Yankees, Mets, but we got Mets. This guy's put billions of dollars. He's a billionaire, putting all this money into the Mets now. He took Juan Soto for $700 million. I'm going to be going to Mets games.
I can't believe he did it. I can't believe Soto left and went to the Mets.
For $760 million, whatever the number was.
$5 million more, I think he got, right? For the Mets, it was only $5 million more.
No. They did not. The Yankees did not offer him $700 million. No, it was the Mets. That was pure Cohen.
But how many teams does Juan Soto? Juan Soto does this though, right?
I don't know anything about Juan Soto except that I want to be his banker. I want to be his investor. I mean, his investment banker, whatever they do.
Yeah. All right, Ron, let's get into it, man.
Mike,
Ron.
can't believe how I met you. Where did we meet? What was the show called?
We met on the ID Discovery Channel. Evil Lives Here.
Evil Lives Here.
Can we talk about this episode? No, because it hasn't been played yet.
Is that right? We're not allowed to?
I don't know.
We signed I don't know if they're ever going to play it. They send out something that's not going to play for like 3 years. I might not be alive when it comes out.
Listen, you got killed in the show.
I'll be here for 1 more hour.
Doesn't matter. You got killed in the show anyway.
I died anyway. You can't say that.
Oh, sorry.
No, I just got smacked up.
Yeah, you got
there's a
smacked
good
up.
there's a good picture of me with blood. Maybe I'll send it to them. You can put it in the. There's a hilarious. I mean, great makeup. Yeah.
Yes,
I've
you
been
did a great
punched.
job.
I've been punched out once. I got punched out in high school once. Got my nose broken and everything, blood all over.
Really?
Yeah. By
For
a
real?
football player. Yep, by a football player.
It was an act?
Nope, by a football player.
Why would he hit you?
Because I said I'm a good guy, but I was drunk that night and I was saying some
school?
bad stuff about him. That was totally true, but he was right there. He was hiding. I was calling him a sneak, and he was a sneak, and he hid, and he heard what I was saying. He came up, pow, blood everywhere.
punch.
Yep, yeah. I wasn't expecting him to punch me in the face.
Where's
but
that guy now? What's he doing?
I don't know. He's in jail. No, I don't know. I have no idea where he is. I honestly don't know. I have no clue. Yeah.
All right, Ron, let's get into it, man.
All right,
so,
brother.
Ron, actor,
Yeah.
director,
Yep.
writer.
Yes, sir.
What's your bigger passion?
Well, my favorite passion is certainly acting. I've always been a natural actor. In my teens, I got a camera, and I was filming my brothers and I. We did parodies, like when I was like 14, 15 years old, filming. So I always loved acting and doing comical skits, and so that's the first thing that I love. And then I always love when I watch stand-up. I thought that'd be a fun thing to do, but I didn't do stand-up comedy till I was 35 years old. It took me forever because that is probably one of the scariest things for me to do. It was, and people are they're afraid of doing public speaking, obviously, but it took me a long time to actually do a stand-up. But acting was very natural to me, and I was doing high school plays, like I said, and film and at home filming with my brothers, and so it was always been acting, then stand-up, and then I've been producing now, obviously.
Yeah.
And so.
But you've done theater. So
a lot of
theater is live. It's
Yeah.
live on stage, and
It's great.
Comedy is also. What's the difference? Because comedy now, that spotlight's directly on you.
Yeah, well, the thing is about stand-up, which is so funny, is like you're always judged every single joke, and if it doesn't go right, and you internalize it not going right, it can go really bad really quickly, and then all of a sudden you're in your own head. Yeah. With acting, it's hard unless you're doing a comedy and they're not laughing. Then that also can almost be the same feeling. It's like, wait, they're supposed to be laughing. That was funny. They don't get it. That was funny. But with stand-up, it's more personal. So I think it's just more personal, and that's why it's a little more fearful to do than acting.
I had a buddy of mine on, Joe Winchell. He's a comedian, and we were talking, saying, so, like as a comedian, you feel the energy in the room, right? So you fucking shoot your shot, and
Yeah.
then you gauge the room, kind of.
Absolutely,
Right?
absolutely.
So if you're fucking bombing,
Oh,
you're stuck up there. There's no hook. There's no hook with the fucking pole. Hey, get them the fuck out of there.
there's nothing
You
like-
just got to keep bombing.
oh my God! There's nothing like bombing and then going lower and lower.
you
And
know
you try
it's
to get
happening.
out, and you go lower. And sometimes you don't. And a lot of times you don't even know why you're bombing. And so then you could really get in your head, and you're just at a loss. And as a comic, once you've done it a while, there's nothing more fun than watching people bomb because you remember yourself, number one. And not like I still do comedy and I still occasionally, I wouldn't say bomb, but there's nights where people just don't laugh so hard. And I realize like, ooh, there's that spot there. Even with jokes that I know have worked many times. So you know that uncomfortable feeling. But when you watch others do it, there's something. It's sort of evil, but comedians tend to really laugh when someone's really eating it pretty hard.
Do they?
Oh my God! It's because after you've seen all the jokes and everybody do this stuff, then you love the drama of just people not doing well and the uncomfortability of what's coming out next. You know, like oh God, it's like a horror. It's like a horror film.
So you got to respect the guy who bombs, and then the next week he's out there again, right?
Absolutely.
Fuck that. That's the love.
Comedians are so tough, but they're also so dark inside too. And a lot of it's because of how tough they have to be, you know. So, but yeah, it is amazing the people that are resilient and keep coming back. And and people get better at stand-up. It's amazing how they go from like they weren't good to like, oh, you've gotten funnier.
Yeah.
But you know, I also do think that people are just naturally funny, and I do think that it's like you have the gift or you don't.
Yeah.
It can be worked on, and just like acting too. But I think that most of the time you can see the people that have the natural gift.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good to watch. Like when I went to see you at the Gotham Comedy Club?
That was at the
Broadway?
Broadway. That was a Broadway
Broadway
Comedy Club.
Comedy
Yeah,
Club.
thank you for coming, by the way.
No, man, it was excellent. It was excellent. Even, everyone from the host, Janice?
Yep, Janice
Amazing,
Massetti.
man.
Janice
Amazing,
Massetti, we
man.
love her. Yeah,
Amazing.
wasn't she great?
She was great, man.
Great
She was
energy.
Great. All of them were great.
It was a great night. Yeah, Christy Miller was there, yeah.
And they fucking, I made the big mistake by sitting in the front row.
Oh yeah,
Thank
but we love
I
you. Come on, you got this
appreciate
look
it.
that you just
Appreciate it,
you want to talk about. I mean, you're good. You bring to this show like when you walk in a room, you're like, I want to know this guy's story.
Yeah.
So you're perfect for comedians because there's nothing.
Fucking got me. Every fucking one got me, except the last guy. Last guy goes, oh, listen, those other guys are fucking nuts. I'm not fucking with you. But it was great, man. And listen,
You had a
I
good time,
appreciate
though,
the
right?
art. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I appreciate the art.
Yeah,
That's
it's good.
such a fascinating art to me because
It is.
like you just gotta be so witty.
Yeah, you do.
You know, and
Yeah,
it's
you do.
it's amazing.
And
man.
you're drawn, and you're very open too, because you have to be open to find where the jokes are in someone. You got to be able to ask the right questions. You can't be boring, so you got to get kind of right to it.
Yeah.
And that's the sharpening of the mind. That's how you sharpen your mind as a comic.
Yeah.
And that's how comics think. They're always thinking, got to be quick, got to, And so, and that's the beauty of stand-up, I think, also, is that you learn how to cut things really fast, get to the bone of what's funny, what's interesting, what's dramatic, whatever, and find it immediately. And that comes, from the process of getting beaten up and bombing a lot and watching others and, finding how the culture, what it likes, what it doesn't like.
It was very interesting. You put me on something. I think it was you told me about Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
That he does a show where only a certain amount of people can go to where he tries new material.
Oh.
Did you tell me about that?
I don't think that I did, but I'm sure that a lot of
Someone
comics
told
do
me
that.
That some comics will shoot an email out to a certain amount of people.
Oh, wow.
Offer them, hey, there's a undisclosed location if you're willing to go. $200 a ticket, and it'd be like a 200 capacity thing, and that comedian would try new material.
Oh, that's cool. That's a really cool thing.
Did you ever hear something like that?
Well, I never heard of anything like that, but I just know that it was always interesting when the one guy that used to come was Jim Gaffigan. I don't know if you know who is big. He's a
I
big
know the
comic.
name. The name sounds familiar.
He's a big comic, but he would just show up at places, and you were like, "Oh my God, that guy's a huge comic, and he's just coming in here with his piece of paper, and he's going to write, rail off new jokes." Yeah. And and that was great for us as comics to see what a pro is like, and hear what they're doing, and then like Jeffrey Ross, who's a big roaster.
Yeah,
he would be at the Comedy Store just with a piece of paper saying a joke, and it wouldn't do well or it'd do well,
That's in
and then he
California,
put it on
right?
there. Yeah, Comedy Store's in L.A., big,
in LA.
very famous place, Mitzi Shore, and but yeah, so it's always good when you watch the pros do new material, and then I remember Jerry Seinfeld came up once at Gotham, and he was doing a lot of, he was doing all new stuff. I mean, this guy's already done. He's already set in life and doing stand-up, but he still wants to do his new stuff, and he's going up. And a lot of the stuff, we all laugh because it's Jerry Seinfeld, but, he's as human as anyone else. The stuff doesn't work, it does work, and he's just, he's just workshopping his craft to find it, and he just gets to do it in front of a major crowd, and that was cool.
So now, question for you. So we talk. Let's stay in the comedy because I'll tell you a funny story now. So I watch a lot of podcasts. So I was watching. Rogan's a big influence on me, and I was watching when him and Mencia had that beef.
Oh yeah.
Over stealing
jokes.
Is that what happens? Because I hear these stories about X, Y. I don't want to say names because that's the biggest one I know.
Robin Williams. I heard you talk about Robin Williams for it. He was known as a joke stealer in some.
Really?
Oh yeah, Robin Williams. If you can believe it. I mean, look how amazing he is. You think he's stealing a whole joke? He may take in a bit and then just turns it in his own
something
bits.
different. Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, do that too. I think it's. I'll tell you, I do think that it's hard to steal a joke, but sometimes the premise is so interesting that when you steal that, you're really, it can hurt as a writer. Yeah. It can really hurt you to know that someone did not come up with it on their own. They just heard it and they knew that it was good, and then they go and reiterate. Yeah. And sometimes they make the joke better. So it's a really weird. It's a weird thing, joke stealing, because sometimes they do actually make the joke better. It's like, you came up with it, but I know what made it funny. It's like Facebook was stolen, by Zuckerberg from the twins. I can't remember their name, the Winklevoss brothers. Yeah. But he made Facebook what it was, and maybe they didn't have that ability. I would say sometimes the same thing with stand-ups. Obviously stealing isn't a great thing, but it's a pretty normal human.
Is it?
Yeah, and sometimes, and also I do think that sometimes people don't even think they're stealing. They're like, they don't even know that, I like this part of that, and I'm going to write this part of it naturally. Yeah. But sure, there's so much of it. And that Carlos Mencia is like one of the most famous for being.
That Minor Mencia. He was hot that time.
And I'll tell you, I saw him do stand-up once. He was awesome. Really? He was absolutely fantastic. Really? I thought he was great.
I just saw him pop back up. Like he was gone for a little while, right?
Yeah,
like, He just,
a lot of times that happens in stand-up. These guys go up and then they're gone. It's a very ephemeral business, but he did very well. Obviously, he made a lot of money. He was one of the more successful ones. But a lot of times that they'll come up, they'll be hot for a few years, and then you won't hear from them again. And some guys just stay in it for a long time too.
I guess it's like acting too. Like you see actors. And the actors I do see fall off, not even fall off, I guess they take the hiatus because, they do these shows, and it's a sitcom, and they had that royalty money coming in. Yeah. So like, hey, you know what? This is a perfect time to take a little break.
Absolutely.
And I get that money's still coming in.
Absolutely.
They're still getting that check.
Yeah, and they work hard too. They work long hours for many months it could be, and long days, You don't want to be someone that doesn't get those jobs because then what are you qualified for? Real estate? I don't know what that's what that's a hard thing. It's a hard thing for people that are even successful when they get out of success. You better make sure that you have your money properly placed.
So Ronnie, let's get into it now. So acting was always your thing.
Always my passion.
So you started as a kid.
Always as a kid, I was Sitting Bull in Annie Get Your Gun. That was the first thing, and I had a
Annie
mohawk.
Get Your Gun. Wow.
I had a mohawk, and you could see the latex and everything. But I immediately came out and I made people laugh, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I've always wanted to be a performer. I love performing. It's a natural thrill I get. And
it's a high.
It's a high, and you're making people happy. What could be better than that? Yeah. Making people happy, it's a beautiful thing.
I saw your headshot today. It came up an old headshot.
Oh, the one with when I had hair?
Dude.
Oh my God.
Look
what happened. I'm the only one in my family that lost all of his hair and wanted to be in entertainment. They all kept heads of hair, and I was the nut job that lost it. But maybe this was
How old are you in that
like
picture? How old are you? How old are you in that picture?
I was like 22, 23.
Really?
Yep, and I'm 54 now.
Wow, man. So you've been grinding, man.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, that's like when I met you, that's what I appreciate about you, and I started following you on social media, and I started seeing your work, and I kept saying, this guy's so fucking talented, man.
Thanks, man.
And the way you play, it's so cool and calm, man.
Thank you.
Then I saw you do the stand-up, then I saw who you associated with. Yeah. I'm like, yo, this fucking guy, man. He's such a talented individual, man.
And
I appreciate you being on the show, Ron.
Oh, brother.
It means a lot to me,
It's great. It's so good to be here. And I want to say, like, someone like you who how long have you been acting now?
A year.
A year. And your energy is so great, and I love that. And to hear compliment me, that's obviously I always had a kind of a natural way, but I've had to work at it. And I'm always working at it. You're always working at it. But to hear a new guy come in and only been here a year, and you've done some great stuff already.
Thank you.
It's just like that, you know, I just love that. I feed off of that energy. A lot of times when we're doing this so long, we love to see new people come in and just to feel, just to hear their questions and the energy behind their questions and the tone is just a great thing. It just makes you happy, man. It's a wonderful thing entertaining people, as you know, and then acting, you know, just how interesting that can be too. So my dad makes fun of. He's made fun of me a bunch of times for wanting to be an actor, but he's like, you know, you guys you don't want to be yourselves. You want to be someone else, and I don't think that's what it is. I just think it's a really fun thing. It's like playing cowboys and Indians, like playing cops and robbers. It's playing something that you're not in life. It's like, let me just step out of me and do this thing. Yeah. And then how fun that can be, and then how intense it can be. It can be intense. It can be funny. You know, when you're on stage doing it, it can be. I did a film out in Hollywood last year, and there was a guy that came in, and he hadn't been acting very long, and all of a sudden, our scene, and when you get called up, it's like, and there's money and everything going, it's like, all right, and now we get this scene. There's like, you got 8 people out there, and then you have 30 people behind with the cameras and every the sound and everything, and now it's like being in the theater all of a sudden. And this guy he flubbed his lines a few times, but he hadn't been doing it that long. So I understood it, and I'm like, and I just tell him, like, you're gonna be good, everything's good, don't worry. And then he got it right, but I knew what he was going through. There's that fire of like, oh my God, there's a lot of people here. I got to get this right, you know?
And you delivering lines quick.
Yeah. And he was like forgetting. He was just forgetting. And, you know, you want to be cool. You know, you want to, in a situation, you're not totally tense all the time. You're pretty relaxed like we are right now.
Yeah. I was nervous. Listen, doing Evil Lives, I was fucking nervous. Yeah. I only had 3 little lines.
Right, but 3 lines,
like,
even that, if you haven't done it that much, right?
Like, I better not fuck this up, man. And then we were with the other gentleman. What was his name? What was the other gentleman's name?
I can remember. You think I've been smoking weed for 30 years? You think I can remember the guy's name?
I forgot his name.
But he was a great guy.
Yeah, and he was a behind-the-scene guy. Remember?
He was a behind-the-scene guy who got cast to play the lead guy in it, and that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool, man. I love those stories.
Yeah,
and he wasn't a young guy either. Like he started late.
Right. He started late, and that's great. That's a great thing too. You know, to switch paths, or you know, and to get into something that you've always yearned to do. Yeah. I've had friends that started young, and then they realized that the money wasn't there, so they got out of it. And so and that's great too. That's fine. You know, but it's great to see older guys come in and really love it and love being involved. Like, this is what I always want to do, or this, you know, or this is something that I thought I always wanted to do. Yeah. That's where you feel about it right now, right?
Yeah, you know what? I get inspired by people. I tell you all the time. I got other friends. You know, Mike Muniz, people I've met on set. Yeah. Glenn Stoner and a bunch of people I've met that I've had on my podcast before. Nice. They just fucking you just like I told Cliff before. You either connect with someone or you don't. Yeah. And those people. You know, you come up together, you make that fine little circle. Yeah, that's right. And it's pretty cool, man. It's really definitely cool. Definitely. I gotta say, I never really met a dick yet. Yeah, in this industry.
Good. That's really good.
Because if I probably did, maybe I did, and I'm not realizing it. Maybe that energy was just so much of a dick. I just kind of got rid of it real quick and went in a different direction.
Right. You just naturally because you're older now. You know, like that energy you don't even match with. You know, you're not trying to get through to that energy. Yeah. A lot of times I'm trying to think of their actors. I know they're typically. Sometimes they can be directors. Sometimes, you know, they just don't know how to deal with people, because now you're dealing with people. You're not, and so, you know, as actors, we don't have the higher up position, but sometimes a higher up position that has to kind of have power over how this thing goes, they can be sometimes offensive or insulting or, you know, disrespectful. And a lot of times it can be a director, it can be a producer. You know, not to, you know, I'm a producer, so I try to be aware of that as well when I'm dealing with actors, you know, that not to be that way. But it's not easy when you're the head person dealing with everybody. Managing people is the worst, basically. So
many different personalities and fucking emotions you got to deal with. Yeah, it's fucked up. So Ron, tell us what you got going on. What have you done? What's going on now?
Right. So right now what I'm doing are 2 plays in the city, which I'm excited. They're both original plays. One of them's called Crappies. And it was written by a guy who's written for Star Trek. He's written for Power Rangers, a bunch of Hollywood TV shows. Yeah, this guy wrote for all these. And I got so lucky. And I met him at a play that you saw me do in New York. And then he asked me to read for this play. And it's a really funny play. And I'm putting that on. It's going to be in the next couple weeks. And so I'm excited to put that out. And then also, in a month from now, I'm doing another play about assassination of a politician. And I play one of the assassins. And now we have to escape from the scene after we just assassinated the politician.
What a time to fucking let that out, huh?
Oh, I know, right? What a time.
Shit, man.
I know. So it's very timely. So that's
Yeah.
and that's intense, and there's some funny parts, but it's very intense because we're fleeing for our life here. This could be the end. So one of them's very funny and just really cute and almost like a Neil Simon kind of, and then you have the more political adventure. So I'm doing those 2 plays right now. So a lot of lines to remember.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work, and that's
You
what I'm
love
doing
it.
right now. Yeah, I love it. I mean, are you kidding me? I wish I could do this all the time. I wish I was in plays and movies. It's just my passion.
Yeah, you could see when that fucking camera turns on, dude, you become that guy.
I just love it.
I love it, man.
I love that
the
energy.
dude.
Just
Yeah,
it's
you
like
become that
natural,
motherfucker.
It's a natural high. You know,
Yeah, you
don't
become
even
that
need it.
motherfucker,
I
man.
love it. I just love it.
You know, like I said, I watch your stuff on social media. I see what you got going on with Jason.
Oh yeah,
Scoop,
Jason Scoop,
with
what a
the
legend,
thing, man. And
Yeah. What a talent.
and the way you embrace him and the way you're like part of his team and you're fucking there with him. You're filming with him. You're grinding with him. And you know what?
So excited.
You have to appreciate that.
I love talented people. There's nothing like seeing unique talents. Like we all have talent, but sometimes you see a unique one. He's really unique in his impressions. I've never even seen that impressionists that I was friends with. So when I see him do it and see everyone laughing, be like, wow, he's so good, so natural. I wanted to help him, realize himself, and he went and did it and performed it. And now when I film, there's nothing but fun. We just have fun out there, and he's playing and he's doing his impressions.
It's awesome, man.
And it's really, I love filming because, filming is, to me, it's like directing. Instead of the big cameras now, you just do the phone. But I love capturing the scene.
I see it. I can see how you capture it.
Capturing people around, stuff that would make it interesting. There's all kinds of stuff going on around you all the time if you're observant to it. And
you got that eye. You have that eye.
Exactly.
You're that guy. You're like that all-around player.
Yeah.
Like, that utility player in sports.
Yeah.
You're that guy.
I wanna
Director,
see it.
writer,
Right.
Camera guy, boom guy.
I want to bring it
actor.
all together. I want it all to work together, and I know that it can. It's like there's art everywhere you go all the time, and the people are so interesting too if you allow them to be. If you open your mind to them, and I'm not even talking about performing, but I just find like people are very interesting, and certainly performers. There's nothing like creating the drama outside of our regular lives.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just something I love. It's like creating a fantasy world. I don't know. I love living in fantasy.
So let's talk about your movie. Ready? God's Will.
God's Will, a brilliant piece of work. Eric Grooms he was a former pastor. Then he became a comedian, and then he wanted to be a movie star and write movies. And he wrote a movie called Midlife, which I actually have that on.
I saw it.
I don't know if you got that, but Midlife, which I
I
was in. I played his advertising partner in business who had to fire him because he was losing it. He was kind of losing his mind and wanted to do other things in life, like become an actor. He wanted to be a comedian in this movie. And so after that movie, Midlife, which is also on Amazon, he wrote this movie about when he was a pastor, but it's not necessarily taken from his life. And I played his friend pastor, and they both leave the people that they were preaching to and go out and search for. They have questions in the world, so they go out to different places, and that's what the movie's about. It's on Amazon, and it came out really well.
Oh,
right?
100%,
You saw it, right?
dude.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's a funny story because, I'm watching it with my wife, and my wife thinking it's a Hallmark Channel movie.
That's funny.
And the first scene comes up, it's a fucking strip club, and I look at my wife, and I says, honey, it's not, but it was fucking great. Listen, I went down that rabbit hole with you guys, and I understood the scenario, how that could happen in real life.
How it can happen.
I was in there, and even the girls, the scenes. I'm not going to get too much so people can watch it, but like the bar scene, the friend scene, the girls coming in the scene, the wife, the girlfriend, your wife, how you want to stay in it, and he wanted out.
Exactly.
And it was an intriguing story, and I was in it. I was there. I appreciate it.
I love the story too. I
storytelling.
mean, think about it. 2 pastors who are friends who leave, the people that they were preaching to, and go out and then question everything that they were doing in the past, and then going, temptation of women and temptation of drugs or drinking, things that men normally go through.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and so it was a very unique kind of angle on it, and I got to play that character. And Eric said that my character is very against my type. He's like, the best thing about this movie is that Ron Barba is not that pastor, because I was playing I'm a very humble pastor guy, and that's not really who I am in real life.
And you would have passed getting beat up.
What's that?
You were the one getting beat up by people. Oh, you're a real piece of shit. I know what you've done. Blah blah. Meanwhile, the guy who wants to go fucking rant and raving, he's like the rock star. Yeah.
Right. He's escaped through it. Yeah. But, and that's why it's very interesting. And also, I always said it's a movie for for men that want to be in their marriage and men that don't want to be in their
100%,
marriage.
yeah.
And those people
It was
exist.
yin-yang. It was like a
Just
yin-yang thing, yeah.
Exactly.
Without
So
doubt, yeah.
it fed those two as well. But but I love it. It's God's will, and it's on Amazon.
So now you showed me a trailer the other day.
Yep.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
You want to get into that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, I can't even say the person who wrote it because he's written like some Broadway musicals now, and he's just a friend of mine that I met on Craigslist, which was my original pilot. The King
You
of
met him on Craigslist?
What's that? I met him on Craigslist.
Get the fuck
I
out
met
of
him
here.
on Craigslist.
How?
He was just doing a play and he needed an actor, and
you went on
played it.
Craigslist to look for it?
And I loved his writing. Yep. Oh, because I was on Craigslist forever in 2010, 11, up to like 15. Because you can go on Craigslist and find acting jobs.
I've seen it before.
And comedy jobs.
I've seen it before, yeah.
I don't know if they do that anymore because I haven't
They
been
do.
on Craigslist.
They do,
still
Ron.
do?
Yeah, they do. I've seen
And I
it
would
on
go
there.
to all those kind of gigs. I don't know why I did that. I did it to build my reel so that I could have one acting job on the next, and so I could show it to people. It's definitely a weird place to go, and I'm very strange for doing that, but that's where I met him. That's where he put up his play, and so he wrote the Thank You for Coming, which is about, it's an uncle who dies and leaves his strip club to his nephews, and they're twins. And one of the twins is a real goody two-shoes guy who's never been to strip clubs, and he's just a regular, normal guy. And the other one is the strip club guy who always goes, and he's a drinker and drugs and women and all that life. Yeah. And they're brothers, and they have to run the strip club. And that's what the pilot is about. Yeah. It's a total comedy. Yeah. It's very funny, and I play both guys. I get to play both guys, and it's great because I went to a lot of strip clubs in my day. Yeah. And so and I also picked up the strip club DJ voice a lot of when I was at that, and I would perform as a strip club DJ. So it was perfect. He was so excited because he knew I did the strip club DJ, so he was excited to write this. So it's a really cool concept, and it's funny. It's a funny show. Just funny stuff in strip clubs.
I was showing my friend, and
it's not dirty.
It's not.
It's almost not at all.
No, it's not.
Which strip clubs are typically associated with that.
It's not, but it's someone who who knows about strip clubs kind of can see. It's a fascinating story because, like I told you, it reminds me of almost like Cheers, but a strip club. Like every guy that goes to a strip club, there's a fucking story why he's there.
Exactly.
Either he's very unhappy, he's made a lot of money, he's first time going there.
Absolutely.
A kid who's never been there before.
Crazy.
Someone from out of the country comes in. There's so many intriguing different characters that go to that club.
No question.
It's like Cheers in a strip club.
Absolutely.
That's what I kept saying.
And I'm so glad you liked it because I did love it from the get-go.
Yeah.
I even went to the Hustler Club and told them, I have this pilot idea. Can we shoot it here? And I told them the name of it. Thank You for Coming. What a hilarious name. The pun in that. But just to, every day with all the characters, the different characters in it, it's just, when I watched it again, because I haven't watched it in a while, it's just funny, and all the characters are funny.
It's fucking great.
And everything they're saying is hilarious.
It's great, man.
So, so I hope it sells one day.
And God rest his soul, the gentleman who was in it.
Yes, Tony White.
Tony White.
Who I've done a bunch of, Tony White got me into a bunch of plays because he loved theater, and he was in another pilot I did called The Ron Show, and then he was in that, and he plays the strip club, the attendant in the men's room, which is a hilarious thing. I mean, what a scene! It's almost like being the mop man. We didn't have a mop man. We did have we did have a mop man in. At one scene, he had a Make America Great Again. He had the Trump hat while he's doing the mopping.
No way.
But I don't think that made the cut. But Tony White was such it's just a great actor, and it's just to lose him was just a freak accident in life. And my gosh, every time I see him, like I loved him. Not only was he a great actor, but he was just such a good person. He died too young in his mid-40s.
I seen you did something else with him, and you filmed it out of your apartment.
Yeah, it's called The Ron Show. That was another pilot about a married man who got divorced, and now he's free, so to speak, and he's going to live that New York City life, dating women, the bachelor life. He's got his quote unquote freedom back, and his two buddies was Tony White and my friend Adam Murphy, who wrote the whole thing.
Adam, I met
Adam Murphy
on the play you did before.
Another great actor, and he wrote and a great writer, and these are good friends of mine. So again, I had so much fun making these pilots.
So all these people on the pilot, those are people you knew personally.
These are all people that I've done
all
stuff
actors
with.
and stuff like that.
Just people that you like and that you know
amazing.
are talented. And I've just had so much fun.
Yeah.
I've just had so much fun with them. And I haven't had any financial success with this stuff. But of course I want that. But it's really the process of it was so good, you know, and I'd love to continue on doing stuff like that with maybe new concepts or just, you know, addendums to what I've already created.
And you build such a good foundation with your people around you. I saw.
Yeah.
It's almost like I compare it like to Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah.
Like Adam Sandler has the same fucking core guys, man.
Yeah, because he feels so good and comfortable.
And they make magic together.
Yeah, they do.
It's fucking magic.
It
Every
is.
time they hit that camera, it's magic.
It's 100%
magic, man.
And they must have such high fun energy with each other.
Yeah.
And that's it. And the people relate to that. You know, they feed off of that energy.
Yeah, like when they did Grown Ups and they pissed in the pool and you see the blue thing coming out. It's like, you know, if you piss in the pool, the fucking everything's all blue around them. That's great, man. That's great stuff, man. That's great. So now you have another one, Ron. It was something with marijuana. I forgot the name of it.
Oh yeah, so
what was that? What was the name of that
So
one?
when I was out in LA years ago, this was a long time ago, a friend of mine was like, you know, I go in the dispensary and I'm like Norm from Cheers, and I go, what a great concept for a show. Just Cheers, but now in a bar that sells marijuana. Now this was a long time ago, so I had that idea, and I wanted to shoot it, but I didn't have anything structured to write it and to write about it. So a friend of mine, Victor Colicchio, he's an amazing writer and an actor. He loved the idea, so we made Buds, which is a marijuana bar basically in the city, and my character from the King of the List, the Craigslist talent agent, would be a part owner in it. So we're bringing my character back from an older pilot, and we're putting him in the newer Buds show, which is marijuana, because we knew marijuana was becoming legal, and so we figured there are going to be marijuana bars everywhere, kind of like what it's like in Amsterdam. And so we wrote this pilot, and it's not a pilot, it's a proof of concept. And this is Vic's idea because he'd pitched a lot of films before, and like I said, he wrote The Summer of Sam with Michael Imperioli. So he's like, let's just give them what the idea is, and then, you know, and if they like it, then we can shoot the actual pilot and get money for it. Wow. So we just kind of showed a proof of concept of what it would be like, a marijuana bar in any city. It's New York. It just happened to be in New York.
You know, it's funny, you just said that, Mike Imperioli. He wrote Summer of Sam? He was one of the writers?
He wrote Summer of Sam with Vic Colicchio.
From Mike Imperioli from The Sopranos?
From The Sopranos.
Wow,
yeah, they wrote it together. And Mike grew up in somewhere near close, like Pelham, New York, I believe, or Mount Vernon, I think in that area. And Vic grew up in the Bronx, and they did a play together, and they became friends. And I'm going to tell you, like, I met Mike once.
Yeah.
At the 30th anniversary of Summer of Sam. But I can tell you that Vic is one of the funniest, most interesting characters you're ever going to meet from the Bronx. And I'm like, wow. And Imperioli's a very famous actor, and I'm sure he's just a genius as well as a writer. And the two of them wrote it, and they met Spike Lee one night at a party. They pitched it to him. Spike wanted it. He wanted to hear about it, and he bought it.
Yeah, John Leguizamo's in that movie.
Leguizamo's in it.
That's a good movie.
Oh yeah,
That's
Adrian Brody's in it.
Adrian Brody's in that movie?
Adrian Brody's in it. Yeah, he plays like the punk guy. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a good movie. Crazy.
I remember that.
New York movie.
I remember John Leguizamo being a cheater, cheating on his girl.
Yep.
And they go to that nightclub, and they go to another nightclub, and they wind up in a fucking sex club.
Yeah.
He winds up watching his girl do something with someone else.
Yeah.
You remember the drive home? He's driving with her, and he's looking at her. He's like, he's driving, he's fucking looking at her. He's like, you fucking dirty fucking slut. Remember that shit? She goes, you're a fucking cheating bastard, bro.
He's
you
amazing.
Fucking dirty whore. Yeah, that was a great movie.
That's great, man.
That
It was
was
a
a great
really
movie.
good movie, and it's fast-paced and moving, very different from the Spike Lee other movies.
Yeah, very different
So you know,
from
it's
Spike
very
Lee,
different
that movie.
from his stuff. He's very stylistic in a lot of his movies. This one was very much New York, like just the way it was cut was very different.
And it was about the son of Sam, the killings,
Yeah,
right?
the Son of Sam.
The son of Sam, yeah. It was hot. I remember it was that hot
intense.
heat wave at that time.
Yeah, very gritty, just a gritty feel to it. He really was very different.
It was a good
Spike.
movie.
Yeah,
It was
really
definitely
good
not
movie.
a Spike Lee movie.
Very different. Yeah, very just so different. So anyway, but Vic, I know Vic very well, and we worked on Buds, and we're always talking and going. We go out socially a lot, and just such an interesting guy. And so he loved the King of the List, the Craigslist talent agent show, which was my original pilot. And so he just said, let's just bring him into Buds and the marijuana thing. And so, you know, that's another proof of concept that we haven't sold, but, you know, one day, knock on wood, we sell something.
Yeah. Ron, you were just in California filming a couple weeks ago. What was that?
So I went out to Hollywood, and I met some really cool Hollywood people. This guy's name is Lou Sabatasso, and he has a concept about rehabs, which are, you know, obviously so big, but like a celebrity, not celebrity, but an elite the elitists, the rich people rehabs, where they're trying to hide the fact that they're, you know, that they have a drug problem, drinking problem. And so he wrote a pilot, and so I went out there and filmed that. And so, again, it's kind of a sizzle. It's just it's like a 3 to 7 minute sizzle of what it would look like. And I filmed it with all pros, like this girl Missy Pyle, who's been in, I don't know what she's been in, but I just knew her name. But my favorite was the, oh my God, I can't remember his name, but he was in the movie Swingers, which is one of my favorite movies. Yeah. And he's a black guy in it who says, he's always like, this place is dead anyway. Like, let's get out of here. This place is dead anyway, and it's popping. The place is so, but just all great actors in it. And so, you know, it's another pitch.
I saw that sizzle, man.
It's another pilot.
Another one, yeah.
It's pretty interesting, right?
100%.
If you get it to the right hands, it has a chance.
There's something there. Yeah. Can I tell you something? When I saw all of them, I kept saying, there's something there with all this stuff.
There's always right. There's
you know
potential.
What? You got to throw it against the wall because something's gonna fucking stick.
There's always potential, and I have a great time doing it, which is great. But
you can tell. I can tell.
It'd be great if you get greenlit, you know, and you get a career going out of it. But it's another great concept, and I'm very proud to be a part of it and be acting in it. And you know, I get to act with these people that have done a lot of stuff, so it says a lot about my acting. Like, wow, this guy can act with them. So it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun, man.
The Doritos commercials,
the Dorito commercials. That commercial was done by kids at the New School. They were all from different countries. They were all brilliant, and they put that together, and amazing commercial.
So was that like a contest for Doritos?
I think it was a contest
because Doritos does that every year. Is that for the Super Bowl?
I think it was a contest. I don't think it was at the Super Bowl. Okay. I don't think it was, but it was so good. And the funniest thing about it was done by students. These kids were. And I had to audition for that thing 4 times just to get that one role. They had me coming in. But they were so good, and and like I said, they were from China, from Germany. One was American. They were all from different countries putting together this really great ad. And I show that ad to everybody is the Doritos commercial. Because it's funny and fast. It gets right to it. I'm goofy as can be. I get to use my energy, which is, I don't always get to use. So
the guy taking a picture of the car, you should have a date before you buy a car. Yeah, it's fucking great.
That's some great lines.
Then you lose out to the guy and you fucking hit the thing, you storm off, pour the coffee there. Yeah, I love it,
man.
It's
funny stuff.
It's funny stuff.
Funny stuff,
funny stuff.
The Doritos
the other one
commercial.
you played Ebenezer Scrooge? Is that for the...
Scrooge was, I went in for a different audition for that. And the guy's like, well, why don't you use it in English? Why don't you have him read for Ebenezer? I'm like, what is it? He's like, we're doing a commercial too. So he had a couple things he was producing. So he just did this commercial for, it's some cable company in the Midwest. But I got to play Ebenezer Scrooge. Again, big energy, because Ebenezer finally is getting a good telephone deal.
Yeah.
And so he's so excited about it. And we shot it in Patterson, New Jersey, and it looks like it's in the snow. And I've got
Is that in the studio? Is that in the studio?
It was outside. No, it was outside.
Oh, wow.
There's a place out there. There's like a big artworks out there where they shoot a lot of commercials. And so they just shot this one commercial, me coming around the corner, so excited because I just got a lot of money off of my
phone bill.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a funny ad, and I look funny. And it's just great high energy.
And that little kid does the ending.
Yeah.
Is that who's
who's that? What's that guy's name? The famous Charles Dickens.
Tiny Tim.
Yes,
that kid's Tiny Tim.
God bless us, everyone.
Yeah, God bless us all. Yeah, with the lift.
God bless us.
With the lift. Yeah, Tiny Tim.
Yeah, I'm Ebenezer.
That's amazing, Ron.
Yeah,
you got some story, man. You got great stories. You got great energy,
man.
Man.
Thank you.
He's such a talented actor.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I'm having a blast.
And to have you here today, man, and I called you, hey, Ron, you want to come today? You were like, fucking right there, man. And we've been trying to do this so long, and thanks to the studio.
Love this place. Love this place.
Tin Mirror Studios, and
this is great. I wish you all the success with the show.
These guys are awesome, man.
You're great. You're great in interview because you got that. It's your innocence and your energy to ask questions and be engaged in the conversation.
You know why?
We're like rapid fire over here.
Because Ron, I'm intrigued by it. I fucking want to know.
And that'll play.
I don't want to know.
That plays to
I
the
want to
audience.
know. And and I think people want to know.
They want to know too. But they better. We're fast. We're pretty fast. You're a fast talker. I'm a fast talker.
Yeah.
I'm from Connecticut. You're from New York. We're like bing, bing, bing.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's great. I just love it. I just love that energy that you have and
thank you.
Exuberance.
I appreciate that.
Your exuberance for film, right?
I appreciate it. I love it, man.
Creating characters.
Listen, like I told everyone, 2024, I scratched the surface.
Yeah.
2025, I really got to fucking just rock the house, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't knock no more. Now you got to kick the door in.
Yeah, kick the
you already
door in.
knocked. Now it's time to
Keep
kick
it going,
it in.
man.
Yeah.
Keep that energy strong and keep thinking forward. Forget the past. Just keep going ahead, you know? There's great things ahead if you believe it, if you push forward to it. All the negatives, get rid of the negatives. Keep them down.
Man. You got to manifest. And I keep saying, man, you're a big inspiration.
Thank you.
I watch your shit.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
see you grinding.
Thank you,
I
brother.
see you in California.
I love it.
I see you when you rapid fired all those pilots. I was like, where the fuck have you been with this shit, man? How the fuck is it no one picking this up? Who's seeing this? Who's seeing this and not trying to take it?
I need an agent. I need someone to sell it. I mean, that should be me selling it. It's true, but I don't know, man. That's been always the weird thing. That's always the hard thing for the artists is to sell their own goods. It's you love doing the process, but then the other process, which is a lot harder, I believe, which is the selling of it. Maybe not for some people. Some people are great at it, and they're great salespeople. And I love sales, but I don't know. I wish I did pitch my stuff quite a bit, but obviously not enough, or it's not good enough. Who knows? It didn't fit.
Nah, it's good enough.
Who knows what it is?
You know what? I think maybe the right set of eyeballs haven't got on it yet, and I think
Could be that.
I think now this meeting we've had this weekend, this week, I think the right eyeballs and the right players are starting to come together.
Wouldn't that be
And
amazing?
you know what? The universe starts lining up. They say, and the stars start going where they got to go,
Oh,
and shit just happens.
Well, it's always exciting to hear people saying, "I love this. This should go. This is a good cut." You're always excited about the future and like what could happen, what you could create. So you just keep going, baby.
I agree, man, Ron. Yo, you have a bright future, man. And
Thanks, Mike. You too.
I appreciate you
Together.
doing the show, man.
Together, man.
The fucking Ron Barber Show.
I love this guy.
Mike Cruz Unadulterated.
Unadulterated with Mike Cruz.
The second episode in the new studio. Thank you, Tin Mirror Studios in Kings Park. Unbelievable facility. Joe, the owner, is amazing
Love
man to
Joe.
work with.
Oh my God! Look at the studio here. We got our own Hollywood studio
Tim was doing
here.
all the editing and the filming for us today.
Fantastic.
It's amazing, man. It's good people coming together.
That's it.
And you know what happens? You create great
all get together.
stuff, man.
Explosion.
Boom. Ron, I appreciate you, man.
Mike.
Thank you, man.
Thank you,
I
brother.
appreciate you, man.
Thanks for having me,
You
man.
you made it nice
Love
and
you.
easy today, man.
Ah, you're beautiful.
Thank you, man.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate
having
you.
me, buddy.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care now.
Yep.
All right.
We're good. You good, Ron? That was good. I think it was good.